Hello, my name is Matt Riggleman, and I'm the conservative host for tonight's Crossfire. In the CNN Crossfire tonight, we have Joy Vasallo as the liberal host.
Hi guys, I'm Joey Vasallo. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
We have the conservative guest, Mr. John Kennedy.
Thank you for having me today. I'm excited to be here.
We have liberal guest, John Wydra.
Hey guys, I'm John Wider, I guess. Let's get this started and over with. I mean, I'm going to win anyway, so we should just wrap this up now.
And liberal guest, Mike Richards.
I'm very happy to be on this prestigious show. I'm just excited for a good crossfire tonight.
Tonight we will be debating the topic of abortion. Abortion is one of the most debated topics of the 20th century. Since Roe v. Wade in 1973 to 2011, nearly 53 million abortions have taken place. If you want me to break that down for you, that'd be about 1.4 million per year. Between pro-choice and pro-life, there is no agreement between whether it should be illegal or legal. But today, we'll help clear up the issue. Mr. Vasallo, would you like to start off with the first question?
Yeah, I'd like to pose the first question to conservative guest John F. Kennedy, also known as JFK. I'd like to ask you, so let me just lay this out for you. So if a woman gets raped, should she have to have the baby?
Well, in my opinion, yes. Abortion is not to rape a woman, and while rapists should receive punishment to the fullest extent of the law, killing an unborn child does not help this fact. Killing a baby adds unneeded violence.
But what I'm saying is here, you're basically punishing a woman for an illegal act committed against her. You're making her have a baby after she had an illegal act against her. So, I mean, it's really not her fault. Why should you force her to have to live with that baby and be reminded of that rape day in and day out for the rest of her life?
Well, Vasallo, I'm going to chime in here for Mr. Kennedy. There are so many women that wake up every morning saying, I wish I kept that baby, when they abort it. Secondly, rape is violence against a woman, but having abortion is just adding violence onto that rape.
It's not the fault of the baby that's brought into the world.
So,
But it should not be the woman's responsibility to take care of this child that she did not want or need.
all right, let's see where you're going there, Mr. Richards, but I'm going to go on over to Mr. Wydra here.
Yay.
Mr. Wydra, let's say that the pregnancy is a result of carelessness of the mother. So an example,
Okay.
she had unprotected sex and she got pregnant. She should deal with her consequences, and it's her responsibility to prevent pregnancy.
Okay. Every child born should come into the world wanted, loved, and cared for. Planned children often have better life prospects because caregivers are better prepared to support that child physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. You said, and I quote, that she should have to deal with the consequences. A child should never be a consequence. If that child is a consequence in the mother's eyes, he or she will never receive the care and love that a newborn requires. How can you say that putting that mother's life at risk is good? Like, how? I don't understand how you think that should be a valid point in putting the mother's life at risk for a fetus.
I'm pretty sure that I said she would deal with the consequences. I never said that she would never love her own baby. I don't get how you're saying that the mother is supposed to love their baby, then how can she just kill it?
All right, well, that brings me to my next point, which is, when does a child become human?
All right, I'd like to hop in here. I have another question for John F. Kennedy, also known as JFK. I myself believe that a woman should be able to abort a baby if faced with serious financial issues. What are your thoughts? But wait, before you answer this, I'd like to mention that a hospital birth can cost around $8,000. Hospital care can cost anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000, and an abortion only costs on average $350 to $500 in the first trimester.
Well, I believe that the government should make programs to aid these women in need of raising a child, because raising a child is very expensive. 38% of women will abort a child because of financial issues or worries. So that's huge.
Now, John, you say you want to put these financial programs into use for these women who have had children, but you don't mention where this money is coming from and how they're going to use it. You don't think that some women may try and cheat the system a little bit, or they may not put all the money towards the child. Also, when you make the woman have the child, she has all these medical expenses plus an upbringing for the child. So that's just continuing the cycle of poverty by making her even more poor and possibly not letting this kid have a better education so we can escape the cycle of poverty here.
Exactly.
The system's
What are your thoughts on that?
The system's always cheated. There's no guarantee that the money's going to go always to that, but it's our best option, and it's really our only option.
All right, now I'm going to go back to Wydra.
Yep.
All right, here we go, Wydra.
All right.
Do you believe that murder is heinous crime that should be illegal?
Yes, but I don't really see.
Fetus is a human being from moment of conception. So this means abortion is murder, which is immoral, which should be illegal.
The fetus is not yet a human being because it cannot survive outside the uterus on its own. Abortion should not be considered murder if the fetus is not self-sustaining and requires the mother's body and physical resources to survive. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that this fetus is alive. The fetus may be alive, but so are eggs and sperm, right? The fetus is a potential human being, not an actual one. It's like a blueprint, not a house. An acorn, not an oak tree. Right?
Actually,
the body of the first priority here is therefore the mother's, and it should be her choice as to what she endures, both mentally and physically. Which is why if the baby is putting her at risk, abortion is the best option. It should be.
I'd just like to point out that you're 14 times less likely to die from an abortion than pregnancy.
Right.
So,
it should be her choice what to do with her body. That's a basic right.
All right. Well, when do abortions happen? The first trimester, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most.
Well, the first trimester, 5 weeks in, the heart begins to beat. 6 weeks in, facial features start to appear. 8 weeks in, arms and legs start to appear. And 11 weeks in, this baby is fully formed.
Now, Mr. Irvin, I'm going to stop you there. If you were to take that fetus out of the womb, would it survive? Simple yes or no question.
I mean, it wouldn't survive, but it's fully formed in the mother's stomach.
So what you're saying is that a fetus is a human being right from conception, right?
Yeah.
Then answer me this question. Why do the parents of so-called human beings not host a funeral for a baby that's undergone a miscarriage, right? The 14th Amendment clearly states when life begins, and it is not at conception.
All right. I'd like to hop in and get back to JFK with a question of my own. I kind of want to get back to the topic we were on a little earlier. So you were saying that it is morally okay for a woman to carry a rapist baby and be reminded of that every day, day in and day out. Rape for a woman is a large issue, and most would not use Plan B because they would stay silent after it happens. 13% of rape victims will commit suicide, while 33% will have the thought. This could be detrimental for this baby being born in the future to not have a parent. What do you say to this, JFK?
I can't stress it enough. It's not the fault of the baby. That it's just brought in the world at that moment. I mean, it is what it is. It shouldn't be sacrificed. That baby can have so much potential.
Okay, but I mean, really, as we discussed earlier, this isn't even a baby yet. This whatever we're calling it, this embryo, this fetus, could not self-sustain outside of the womb. So how can we know that it has this potential? We know for a fact that this woman has potential and has a life because she's already contributing to society at her age, and she is a person based off the 14th Amendment. So why would we sacrifice her for this embryo that we don't even know if it will come out and turn into a baby and be alive?
Who knows? Of the 53 million kids that were aborted, one of them could have gotten the cure for cancer. It could have been a huge thing in the world. We don't know that. We'll never know. Riggs?
All right, Mr. Vasallo. I'm going to ask you a question real quick here. Would you agree that supporting abortion would be taking away future lives?
Well, Mr. Riggleman, I thank you for asking me this question,
Yeah, you're
and I
welcome.
would absolutely disagree. You cannot claim that we are taking away future life before that life is even self-sustainable. This is like saying that by killing a man, you are killing hundreds of children that could have possibly been produced by his sperm maybe in the future. Personhood begins after a fetus becomes viable, or after birth, not at conception. A person's age is calculated from birth date, not conception, if I'm right. And fetuses are not counted in the U.S. Census last time I checked. Also, we are talking about whether abortion should be legal or not. And by making abortion illegal, there's much worse effect on life loss of those actually considered people by the 14th Amendment. Laws against abortion do not stop abortion. They simply make it less safe for the mothers. The number of women who get abortions does not change when it goes from being illegal to legal or vice versa. The only thing that changes is the number of women that die each year. Every year, 78,000 women die from unsafe abortions. Before abortion was legalized, women would frequently try to induce their own abortions using coat hangers, using unsafe back alley abortionists, knitting needles, and even radiator flush. So the benefits greatly outweigh the detriments of legal abortion, in my opinion.
Yeah, we get it. There's a risk of having a baby, obviously, but it's women go through the worst pain in their life having a baby. Don't you think that just outweighs abortion?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to argue here, is that it's very important that we take into consideration the women here and not this unborn baby that could possibly have potential, maybe, maybe not. The woman who is a person by the 14th Amendment who is already contributing to society should be our first priority. Her life and her dignity are the most important.
All right. Well, do you know who Justin Bieber is?
Yeah, I know who Justin Bieber is.
Good. Because he was actually almost aborted. His mother was thinking about giving abortion to him, but look at him now. Millionaire.
I don't quite see what this has to do with the topic of whether abortion should be illegal or legal.
I'm just giving you examples of how giving a life to a baby gives it potential without you even knowing. Do you think she knew that this baby was going to be like a millionaire and just give her all the money in the world she needs? No. You just got to believe. Obviously, it's going to be risky, but...
All right, well, thank you. I think it's about time we move on to the crossfire.
Yes, Mr. Vasallo, I agree. I've got a pretty good question for you guys. Anyone can argue for this one. What if one of these aborted babies is meant to find a cure for cancer, save the world, or become a millionaire, anything like that?
Here, I'll get this one. Well, as I was saying earlier, with this Justin Bieber thing you said, these are all what ifs. These arguments are what ifs. What if this baby becomes a millionaire? What if it becomes a pop star? We're not arguing what ifs. We're arguing cold hard facts. Second, women who are denied abortions are more likely to become unemployed, to be on welfare, to be below the poverty line, and to become victims of domestic violence. So, as these what if scenarios are, more likely than not, these children are going to be subject to violence at home, poverty, and they could easily get stuck in the cycle of violence. Also, for this baby to come in the world unwanted is a major setback. No baby should have to come into this world unwanted. These babies,
how do you know they're going to be coming to this world unwanted?
Because if the woman is denied an abortion that she originally wanted because you guys are proposing that we should make abortions illegal to women who want them, this baby was not wanted. It was wanted to be taken away by the abortion. So
that's because they don't realize what the baby would do in their lives before they're born. But once they see that they're born and how wonderful they are.
But do you think that baby will honestly be put into a good household? Do you think that that baby will be safe from, let's say, beating or other forms of domestic violence?
I mean, how can you come up with that about
you don't know
that's a baby? There's obviously other family members in the family that will help out.
My
Well, if
point
a
is, if
woman,
that
for
baby-
example, is raped, I don't think any other family members or that woman is going to really love that baby. It's just going to remind them every day of the rape.
Mr.
Or
Ergman,
is it going
you're
to
operating
remind
a
them
lot of
every
what
day
ifs.
how
Like, we
that
want
they
some
could have
cold
had,
hard
like,
facts
a
here.
grandson? What's that, Richards?
We want some cold hard facts. You're doing a lot of what ifs. Like, what if this is the next Justin Bieber? Like, this could be the next Hitler for all we know. Come on.
I mean,
You just gotta get. We need some facts here.
All right, easy with the Hitler.
My bad.
All right. Basically, what it comes down to is this should be a choice of the woman's, right? Reproductive rights are the choice of the woman. She should have a choice on what to do. I'm not saying I'm pro-abortion. I'm saying I'm pro-choice for what she should do. She should have an option there.
What we're arguing is that abortion should be legal. We're not saying that all women should have abortions, but we're saying they should have that option and that it should not be taken away from them because that could cause even more problems.
Okay. JFK, you got anything to say?
I think we've exhausted everything. What do you think?
All right, well, it was a pleasure being on the show. I had a great time on CNN Crossfire. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I had a pleasure being the liberal host over here, Joey Vasallo.
I also had a pleasure. It was great being here. I thank you guys. I will always be available for another liberal guest little rest appointment. And I believe that we won this argument. So just as I said at the start, I'm gonna win, so let's just get it over with.
Well, you know what? It was a pleasure having all you guys. I think it was a pretty good discussion, you know. I think we should have another one of these pretty soon here. Love to have all you guys back.
Thanks, Riggs. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you guys.
All right, well, I hope you guys learned a lot, and we had a pleasure. I guess we'll see you in class.